Hello to all you patriots out there in podcast land, and welcome to episode 464 of Canadian Patriot Podcast, the number one live podcast in Canada, recorded January 12th, 2026.
We need your help to support the Canadian Patriot Podcast. Visit patreon.com/CPP and become a Patreon and get a better quality version of the show for just $1 per episode. Show you're not a communist. Buy a CPP t-shirt for just $24.99 plus shipping and theft. Visit CanadianPatriotPodcast.com homepage and follow the link on the right.
Awesome. That brings us to our favorite part of the show. What are we drinking? And one Patriot Challenge item that you've completed. Pierre, what are you drinking, sir?
Tonight, just good old Jameson, chilled. Um, Patriot Challenge, staying on top of the waters, doing Audible books still in between podcasts that I'm binge listening to and all that stuff. I I mean, we'll see when I go sight in the scope, but I practice a skill I haven't done in a little bit. Last year was kind of busy, so I didn't do much reloading. So I kind of sat down and double checked a few videos and all the bullets went in the proper way. No powder fell out. The powder measured, I'm pretty sure, good. So when I go test all that out, I will give feedback. If I'm not back, I screwed up real bad. If I'm back, hopefully I got load development figured out for that set rifle. So yeah,
Nice.
good time. Yeah, it was a nice. Hadn't done it in a little while, and I was like, you know what, I need a day just to relax, and I like it because it's therapeutic for me to clean all the brass, resize, trim, all the steps is nice and relaxing for me. So it was nice to get back to it. Definitely want to stay on top of it now. What about you, Ian?
Well, let's see here. Drinking tonight, I will entertain no judgment as I'm busy cleaning out a mini fridge before I sell it. See here. Okanagan Cider and Beverage Saskatoon Berry Cider. Uh, there's only one of them. That's just leftovers that's been sitting there for probably a couple months in the fridge. So rather than throw it out, I figured it's just time to make use of it. And like I said before the show, I think if I make it through the show without entering a diabetic coma, I'll be shocked. But anyway, Patriot Challenge. Let's see here. Always the water. Improving my fighting position, much like yourself, Pierre. It's that time of year in my local gun club where they actually issue new keys every January 1st. So I went to the range, got my key picked up, quickly set it in a rifle, and then I spent the rest of the week basically shedding excess weight for supplies and stuff that I'm not using and everything else, and turning it into more useful stuff. So yeah, just trying to make myself a little more tactically prepared. What should we say?
Nice.
And then of
That's
course
a
reading.
strange way of doing it at the gun club, though. Like they every year they just give you a new set of keys, so they cut a new key for every member.
This is gonna shock you, but my gun club is full of thuds.
I know.
And so they, instead of just issuing a new passcode or a new whatever,
Or
they
RFID thing that's like yay
or a
nay if you paid your
fob or
subscription.
anything else,
Yeah.
they insist on handing out keys person to person, not even via the mail, in order to check your PAL to make sure you still have a PAL, in order to check that you're still a resident of BC, and one other reason, and they change locks every January 1st. So if
that's
you,
a
and then of course, like there's 1,200 members, they got 800
yeah.
and some odd keys to hand out, and the guy that actually was the range like caretaker died, so now they have to rely on volunteers to show up to hand out keys with certain hours for the first few weeks of the year, and then if you don't get your key within the first few weeks, then you got to sit there and arrange some other way to get some random guy to meet up with you to get the key.
That's ridiculous.
And the
Yeah,
best part
that
is
doesn't sound enjoyable.
well, it's a 3 foot fence, so you can just climb over it and open the door anyway. So like I don't know what they're preventing, but
Mm.
it's it's just silliness on so many levels. But whatever, I
And like
figured.
the expense of getting all those key, like in the time, like just I mean, my club just like you have an RFID card for the gate that never changes the entire time you're there, and even if you leave, it's still active. But the buildings all get a different code.
Yep. And so this is even sillier in the fact there's no locks on any of the ranges, just the little gates on the perimeter of the ranges. Like for example, one gate opens up to the handgun range and the 50-yard range and whatever, but it it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. But it took them to go from, I think, from when I first showed up 2012 to last year, they finally got online renewals going. That was a big step for them. Instead of having to go in there and pay money, like hand cash to the guy and then get your key later on, and
Ugh,
they're very slow to change. But no surprise, their membership's also dropping like a rock
That's
because
yeah,
the guys that put up with that are dying off, and the new guys can't be bothered because it's not worth the hassle.
yeah.
and I'm just saying,
That's
if you don't have a key, you can't have a key.
Oh, I know, but I'm just saying it's like it. I don't even know what they're trying to prevent, but it's obviously some
Yeah,
CFO rule or something that I don't know. It's the most silly thing I've ever run across. But and the other gun club in town is nothing like that. But they also have a live-in caretaker that just signs you in and out. And there's a membership card that just gets mailed to you.
that's wild.
Yeah,
And
but
yeah,
so
their train set,
inefficient.
I don't know.
Yeah, I get it. But that's all you had to
yeah.
say. But
But by the same token, though, it's $125 a year, and it's got 3 ranges.
and they spend most of that on keys.
And they spend most of that on keys. And so I'm just like, you know what?
Yeah.
For the price, and it's 5 minutes from my house. So it's
Yeah,
like, eh.
How far out are the three ranges?
Oh, the farthest one's only 100 yards, but
yeah. That's
it's
still
also, I would bet within 5 years that range will disappear too, because it's getting surrounded by houses and it's close to the highway and yada yada yada. BC. So
wait. I
yeah,
mean, how dare they build a range where like 50 years later people plan to build houses?
oh yeah, and they'll
Yeah.
complain about the noise, and then we'll lose, and then we'll have to get repositioned somewhere like 60 miles out into the bush, and it'll be no longer viable whatsoever. But
Well,
it's
until
the way.
people start building houses there again, and then membership will pick up, and then they'll build more houses, and then they'll complain about the noise.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
cue the Circle of Life song or something, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're running out of
It's
places to go.
unfortunate.
Like look at Regina. I mean, they had that same problem where they, literally was out in the middle of the boonies and they still lost.
yeah, it's wild.
Anyway,
Yeah. It sucks. Gun ranges are hard to keep because too many people complain and it's annoying. It's a nuisance. Let me just shoot in my
Mm.
backyard then.
Yeah.
yeah. Anyways, how about yourself, Gavin?
I am drinking some Coors seltzers this evening that I had left over from New Year's, so they're actually not bad. Like again, I'll probably get the diabetes from it. Oh no, I lied. There's only 1 gram of sugar in here. Amazing. Um, well, that's good because I guess I can't get it twice now. Um, Patriot Challenge stuff. Been practicing some skills. I was just filling the guys in here. Me and a few of the other panelists that live locally had a bit of a project. 89 days ago, or I think it's 90 something now, but 89 days it took from when I picked it up to when we fired it up and it ran. We bought a hovercraft, like a two-person hovercraft. And so I had to practice sewing because we needed to sew up new skirts for it, and things like that. And we had to wire up a trailer and do all kinds of manly things aside from sewing in order to get this thing running. But we got it running, and now we have a 1980s two-person hovercraft that we are going to take out ice fishing.
Nice.
Yeah,
So,
or I mean, storming enemy beaches or whatever. Like it's just like
well,
multiple
I mean,
units,
I'm
right?
super pumped for it for ice fishing because it's going to be hilarious because we have the hovercraft, we have an Argo, we have a snowmobile, and Better Andrew has decided to bring his dirt bike instead the tires.
It's good like a
So there will
Mad
be like a weird Mad Max
Mad Max thing.
menagerie
Yeah.
of vehicles, but instead of going across the Australian desert, it will be across the frozen tundra of northern-ish Ontario.
I'm just
And it's
picturing
gonna,
one of them having all the speakers and some guy on like strings just like playing the guitar.
yeah, so we will be sure to get video footage from a drone of all of that ripping across the lake because it will be
Yeah.
hilarious. Um,
And simultaneously awesome.
yeah, but it's gonna be something. That's for sure. But that has been a fun project to work on. Um, Aside from that, like yeah, I kind of just had a nice, easy, relaxing break, which was good.
Yeah.
Um,
What was your total of books? I knew you passed what you had planned, but what ended up being the total?
let
By how
me let
many?
me check here. So I was gunning for 24.
Yeah.
So met the 24. And then where is my reading goal from last year? Books read this year. I made it to 30 books.
Nice.
Yeah.
They didn't just pass it by one.
No.
No, nice. Yeah, no, because I knew
Yeah.
you had passed it, in like
Yeah.
November or something. So
Yeah.
I was curious what the total ended up being, or if you slacked off because
Yeah.
you were like,
No.
I got there.
No, I mean like I finished a book like a few days ahead of the, New Year, and then I was like I could start another one, but like it's like, you know what? I'm on vacation now, so like let's just relax. But I've already
Mm.
finished one so far this year, and I'm most of the way through the second book already, so I'm
Was it
already on track.
the most dangerous game?
No, it was like a,
No, okay,
8, 9 hour book, which like over the
okay,
course of a week of driving back and forth to the office,
yeah,
wherever I can do
easily
that.
makes it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
So that's
nice. Well, that's good.
all
Happy to
done.
hear that.
Yeah. Yeah. Upcoming events. We don't have any, I think, until April-ish. So yeah, on to the news. Revisiting an old story here because we have some accurate numbers now. So Gary the Tamil Tiger, our public safety minister, defends the gun buyback program after pilot sees low uptake. So I guess we had the rough estimate of 22 firearms that were collected.
Yeah.
Um, but I believe they actually got 26 as a definitive total. But apparently that was from only 16 people.
Yeah, because I guess one of them
Uh,
was a relative of the guy running the program, right?
Yeah, or something about like there was a deceased estate that had several guns. So
no, so it's 26 and only from 16 people,
yeah,
but they were hoping to get
yeah,
200.
200.
So
And
So
that's
we
yeah,
got
why
four.
they.
They actually got four more guns than was initially reported, but
Which,
still way short.
yeah, and if you remember originally, it was like they wanted to get 200, but they knew there was more than 200. They knew there was like 2,000 out there, but they only got 10% of what they were hoping to get, which is about 1% of what actually is out there. And
Yeah,
yeah, and there was
yeah,
obviously some
because
shenanigans involved with how much they got because it was through friendly fire, so to speak. But they yeah, I just don't understand how they can even remotely say that they expect it to be any better across the rest of the country or anything else.
well,
And how,
Gary is saying here that the pilot wasn't about quantitative results. When they roll out the program in its full form in the upcoming weeks, they anticipate much greater uptake.
oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So from
they were
1% to 1.5%.
yeah, and I mean, and they were expecting to get 200, and I mean, like that's probably only because there's like 200 they can actually verify with probably a certificate number that you legally have to have for certain things, and they're
Yeah.
hoping to get 2,000 because then you're working on the honor system of the remaining ones that were non-restricted, non-registered, and somehow have become, crazy dangerous and a hazard to society, being given in. But Nova Scotia
Yeah.
looks like it sucks because they were like the only one that were like, we'll do it. So I'm wondering what
Well,
kickback Nova
Quebec
Scotia is getting
is,
this year.
well, I mean, not even Nova Scotia, just this particular part of Nova Scotia, because the others haven't agreed to anything yet. Although Quebec did just sign on and say that they would participate, which is not surprising.
No,
But so you now have the pool of money, which I don't remember what it is, but it's not a lot, that
no,
now the Winnipeg police are going to get their bribe out of. This
yep,
police station here in Nova Scotia got their bribe out of. And then Quebec is going to get its bribe out of. And
yep,
then the people that self-report and turn things in are going to potentially, maybe, if there's any money left, get
yep,
something for what they've turned in.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you've got, again, like we've discussed before, like Alberta and Saskatchewan that are like
Flat out
essentially
rebels.
making it impossible for people to comply with this law.
Yeah, which I wish everyone did. But at least we got the amnesty for another year.
Yeah. Apparently, Noah Schwartz, a political science professor at the University of the Fraser Valley, who studies gun control policy,
Oh fuck.
he said that the government has lost the framing war on this. You don't
What?
say.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, if he's a professor, he should be like somewhat historically literate, in which case he should realize that maybe even from a personal perspective, the people stealing their guns historically have never been the good guys.
yeah. Or it has at least never made a difference to public
Yeah,
safety
Yeah.
or whatever they're alleging, right? Like this is gonna stop
yeah.
the fucking gangbangers from shooting each other with
No,
prohibited weapons that nobody already owns because they're short barreled pistols or overcapacity magazines that never even have a rivet in them. So they were
yeah,
obviously never purchased in this country.
yeah. So, and this professor is also saying that they're trying to fight the provinces at the same time as they're trying to get the messaging right on this program, with a minister who has certainly lost legitimacy in the eyes of the community that needs to participate in this buyback for it to be a success. Well, yeah, that
Yeah,
phone call and the fact that, like, he's helped out terrorists. The professor is also saying, to be honest, if I was advising the prime minister, I would say make this go away as quickly as possible. It's not the political winner that it was under the Trudeau government.
I kind of like this professor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
things I thought I would
Like,
never say.
yeah,
Yeah.
no,
That's
like he's saying, right? Like that was a big thing for them pushing and everything. And he's like, look, like this is obviously, he's taking some logic to the situation, saying like this is not working. You're better off scrapping all this.
Yeah,
Work in some. I mean, if you want to tweak some things, like work it through proper legislation. Actually take into account, subject matter experts that are actually experts and understand stuff. Um, rewrite the gun laws and
yeah,
change it so that it makes sense. If we want restricted weapons, like okay, define restricted. What's this? What's that? Get
maybe not rule
get
blanket free.
buybacks. Yeah,
yeah.
like not just like okay, well this qualifies, but then all AR-15s are or not prohibited. Sorry, like restricted. Like it doesn't matter that it's a semi-auto rifle with a barrel
Well,
longer than 16 and a half inches. Like then it shouldn't qualify. But yeah, like let's spend all that money on rewriting real gun laws that kind of
well,
make sense. But yeah,
well, there's also a quote here from our dear friend Heidi Rathjen. The finish line keeps being pushed further and further. Obviously, it's a controversial file, but it is necessary if we don't want to go down the road of the United States in terms of gun violence. Except that, like, all of these things have been, all of the legal gun owners that obey the law have had all of these things locked up and not being used since 2020,
yep.
right? So it's now 2026.
So we're
So
almost 6 years. Like in May, what is it,
all
May
yeah, in
20th?
May. Yeah, in
Yeah.
May it will be 6 years. So you're 5.5 years. And have you guys noticed gun violence going down or up?
Yeah. Turns out criminals don't follow laws.
Weird.
Nope.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not even like it's maintaining like the same, like where you're just like, oh, there was X percentage of gun violence, or whatever. Like it's increased. It's getting worse, not better, not staying the same. It's getting worse. So it's not us. Something else is the problem. I mean, we can't say what the problem is because then we'll probably get canceled,
We'll
but
probably
it
get
has to
banned.
do with potentially letting people out of jail and
Oh,
letting in unvetted people into this country. I'm just
yeah.
saying that maybe it might have something to do with those things.
Yeah, if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's probably a fucking duck.
Yes, and to respond to the problem, no, nail guns will also be prohibited because they are still called nail guns. You will need to
Yeah.
name it something else for it to be a thing that you're still allowed to have.
Yeah, it's
Come to think,
a nail power.
I'm surprised I was actually able to list my nail gun on Facebook Marketplace. Come to think of it, because I used the word gun.
Yeah, wow.
Weird.
Yeah.
I'm sure your ad will get taken down before someone can ask if, you can lower the price and beat you
Deliver
up
it for
about it,
free.
and then deliver it 3 hours away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
No, how about I
Or
just
then when
throw it
you
in the garbage?
yeah. Or when you give them a set of instructions of like how to meet up to do this, they're like, this sounds complicated. I'm out.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
Yeah. See ya.
Well, all right. Well, I want to hear from BC. BC court to hear charter challenge over religious exemptions to assisted dying law. So a cancer patient had to be moved from St. Paul's Hospital in 2023 in order to receive MAID, so medical assistance in dying.
Yeah.
So MAIDS is its own issue unto itself, but let's just talk about the financing and the access
Yeah,
to it for a second. So this is a hospital that is religious based but receives public funding. So this
Yes,
is where that separation of church and state should come into more
yeah,
play more often.
absolutely.
If you accept public funding, you have to go by the rules of general, well, the general public, which includes
yeah.
widely
Yep,
available laws and or policies or whatever. If you're taking public funding and there's a law that allows them to do something medically, I don't think the hospital should have the right to prevent that.
absolutely.
But also, I think that like I can understand if somebody doesn't want to do something and the hospital's like, yes, we support this person. Great, cool.
Yes, so there's a bit of a difference between whether the hospital allows it or not, or whether the individual doctor will perform the thing based on their beliefs, because yes, we do not have the rights to the labor of others.
Yes. By the same
Yeah,
token, though, if a doctor's working in a private clinic and doesn't want to do something, more
yeah.
power to him. He's being paid by the government, directly via a government institution. That gets to be a little murkier territory, right?
Yes, I mean this is definitely a complex issue in many ways. I mean, just the program in general, like again, like I mean, my body, my choice, right? Like
Yeah,
that's what everyone believes. So if I think that I should be able to end it, then I should be able to end it because my body, my choice. Whether you get government funding and assistance for that, I guess, is up for debate. And how easily that is obtained, I guess, is the other thing. Because, like,
yeah.
personally, I don't have a problem with this program. I think
No,
those people that have, terminal illnesses that will leave them, you know, in pain for days, weeks, months, years, like to the point
yeah,
where like they are not having quality of life, should absolutely have access
if
to this and be
yeah,
allowed to use this.
yeah, agreed.
But I mean, there was a guy that's like 25 or something and like got allowed to do this just because he's suffering from depression. And
Depression.
like I get it, like I don't want to downplay how bad that can be for some people because it's a thing.
Yeah,
But like being 25 and being bummed out, in my opinion, is not a legitimate reason to
yeah,
be accepted into this government program.
yes,
And
especially because I'm paying for it with my taxes.
well, and
Yeah,
here's the other thing too: is the government, of course, always taking it one step too far that they do. Has announced actually the U.S. was actually condemning them publicly today on the media, because what turns out what the Canadian government's been doing is upping their organ donation via MAIDS
yeah,
and solving the organ donation shortage. Um, but it turns out that when you donate organs, you're technically not dead when you donate because they actually, in order to maintain freshness, for lack of a better term, of the organ,
yeah.
they remove it while there's still a heartbeat. And I'm like, so are they actually getting killed? Are they actually getting just like, well, you would die too if you had your liver and heart and lungs removed, right? I mean,
Yeah,
no
Yeah.
doubt. But it's like interesting. So how exactly are they doing this maids though when people aren't looking? Because yeah,
well,
they're
I
getting
Well, I
mean,
mean, based on that one pod, the old-fashioned way by putting some hands around their neck.
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, no, it's very, very interesting. Like I just there's obviously some shenanigans going on behind the scenes that we're still not hearing about because
Yeah,
everybody's talking about the organ donation thing being used in the darkest way possible, thanks to maids.
well, well, yeah. I mean, again, though, let's back to this
and
one. Like the connection of church and state just
yeah,
further complicates all of this. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Like I feel bad for some of these people. Like, and again, this guy, like cancer and all the things, is definitely a candidate, I think, for this program. And like, why make this poor guy
Yeah.
suffer even more
Stage
by giving him the runaround? Like,
yeah, stage 4 cervical cancer that's spread to
yeah,
bones, lungs. Like, yeah, no, like it's just gonna be if you've got someone that's willing to support you and all that or whatever, but like I get that, you shouldn't be doing whatever, but like I don't want to, say that's me or my wife, like she might not want to be a burden for 6 years of
yeah,
everything. And like if it's a discussion and everybody's, whatever, like who are we to say yay or nay?
yeah.
Go, I have a better idea. Go do what you're supposed to and then go pray for them. Not what you
Yeah.
guys are supposed to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, revisiting another old story here, but some new stuff. So if you guys remember way back, there was a bit of a gold heist at the airport in Toronto.
Still gotta
Oh,
make
really?
one of that one, I think.
Yeah. Well, I guess an Arsalan Chaudhary was arrested after apparently returning to the scene of the crime, sort of. He flew from Dubai to
Dubai.
Toronto and was arrested upon arrival back at the airport. So that was probably a bad choice.
Yeah.
So obviously they knew who he was well ahead of time, and obviously it had something to do with it. But it's very interesting. Like when you have this much time to go on, and as we know, gold is very malleable and can be like repoured and remolded and reshaped and stuff. And molecularly, gold is gold, right? It doesn't really have a proprietary stamp on it. So
Yeah. And even
it's
if it
very
does, as you
You can
said,
melt
you
it and
can
put
melt
another
it
one.
down and turn it into something else.
so I don't understand like what these guys sounds like what they had done before from what the previous articles had said is they had melted stuff down, turned it into necklaces, and done other sorts of random shit with it. So what are they using for evidence? like, I mean, maybe videotape, maybe I don't know, but like it's just like it's funny that these guys weren't like more widely or more viciously tracked down or something. Like if they had something on
Yeah.
them, I think they're just hoping these guys will actually like fess up.
Yeah, if someone's gonna break and say, "Fine, I'll take the deal," and then rat on everybody.
Because
But
like
yeah, it just seems silly.
because the physical possession of that stuff is gonna be hard to establish, right?
Yeah. That, and I mean, like they've already arrested 7 people previously, so this is 8 now.
And how many of them have been charged and convicted?
I think all of them so far.
But again, if you had 70 of your friends get arrested for the same crime and you were part of that crew, why would you
Why would you go back to Toronto?
ever come back to Canada at that point?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's like, well, maybe they don't know that I'm part of it. But no,
yeah,
I'm gonna just stay in Dubai,
yeah.
live
I
off
will.
of the millions of dollars I stole in gold that have melted down into whatever.
And if they traveled and they left anything behind, I'll get it and I'll send them a letter saying, "Come see me when you're out."
Yeah.
And they'll make sure that gold's whatever or forget about it. But yeah, it just
Yeah.
I
But I
don't know.
mean,
It's just
as we know already, and like as we said from day one, this has to be an inside job because who else knew about it? But yes, it is. There were 2 groups, one being Air Canada employees, unfortunately. And then it's the outsiders, of which this guy belonged to. So now they have people from like both groups. So yeah, anyone that is still left out there.
Yeah, here's a hot tip.
That,
Don't come back to
yeah.
Canada.
Yeah.
yeah.
I've got a hot tip worth about 20 million, give or take. Get the hell out of Toronto if you are still here.
Or at least
Yeah.
is that 20 million in current or was that 20 million worth of gold in
20
when
million
this
at the
heist?
time,
So which is probably about
Yeah,
40 to 45 now.
yeah,
and two and
this
a
gold
half
has gone up,
million in foreign currency.
Oh Jesus. Yeah.
So yeah.
right? So yeah,
Apparently this guy exchanged calls or messages with 2 other suspects linked to the case 772 times on the day of the heist.
That's actually impressive.
That's
Yeah.
a lot. Like,
So apparently, this is even better. The day after the heist, one suspect messaged this guy in a WhatsApp chat. So again, like not secure, don't use that. Um, but he received a text saying, "I'm so happy for you, bro. I can't even sleep, lol." To which this guy allegedly responded, "It's insane."
Jesus.
that's the evidence?
But again, like I'm told, WhatsApp is end-to-end encrypted, and don't worry, guys, nobody can ever read your WhatsApp.
Yeah,
It's all cool, bro.
yeah. Trust
It
the
is
suck.
end to end. Yeah, yeah. It's end to end
Yeah,
encrypted, but they hold the encryption key if they really, really need it, and they
yeah.
get asked.
And the Facebook people would never lie to us. They certainly
No.
didn't censor people's thoughts and feelings in posts during the COVIDs. Apparently, though, another warrant has been issued linked to a 27-year-old man from Brampton who recently pleaded guilty to firearms trafficking related charges in the US. And there are two other suspects from Brampton still at large.
Hmm.
It's weird.
Including a former Air Canada employee
Well, so
Former.
hopefully they have learned and are not in
coming back to
Brampton
Toronto
anymore,
Airport.
or Canada. But yeah, I love it when like because they had no fucking clue when this happened. Like these guys could have just like vanished, never to be seen again, especially with that amount of money.
Oh, like
Like
Yeah,
the only thing that's
all
stopping them was themselves at that point.
yeah, like if you look at it, like if they haven't done anything with it and just held on to it, because this wasn't even that long ago, they've already doubled the value of the gold,
but
essentially.
this was what 2023, August 2023, something like that.
Yeah.
I think the
So
article
like
said like
couple of years lay low, which is probably smart when you do a heist this size anyways.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, when was this? Yeah, sorry, April 17th, 2023. So we're just about the 3 year mark. Right? We're a week or two away, or a month or two, sorry, from well, three from it being okay. But
Yeah.
I don't know. So Jeff said the news reports say that that person agreed to return and turn himself in. So I didn't know that guy was that much of an idiot.
Yeah. I would have stayed in Dubai.
Yeah, I would have just not answered
Yeah.
the Ottawa the Canada
Yeah.
number,
Yeah.
right?
Weird. I keep
Like,
getting this phone call from a 416 number.
Yeah.
yeah, maybe I should answer it. Hey, you should come back and turn yourself in. You're like,
I
you know
don't
what?
know.
I should. Yeah,
Yeah. Well,
but
the next one here is a good one here. This should be heartwarming. Mississauga man took the city to court over not mowing his lawn and won.
nice.
So yes, there's a municipal bylaw governing tall grass weed control, and it was struck down. So chalk went up to the little guy here.
Yep.
And this went all the way to Superior Court. So apparently, this bylaw prevents homeowners from growing some plants and grass over a certain height. So the gentleman who, by the name of Wolf Rock, which is an amazing name, owns the lawn that sparked this legal proceeding. So he's self-represented as well, which makes it even better.
Yes.
He challenged part of the weed control bylaw that prohibits growing grass over 20 centimeters and growing certain plants. He was seeking 2.46 million in damages and other relief, but he was not awarded any money.
So the same city that wants you to leave your grass long to save on water so it doesn't evaporate so much, and it's supposedly better for your lawn if you let it grow
And
longer.
taxes you based on like the hard surface on your property for water
Yes.
runoff.
Yes. So they, in one hand, they're telling you to grow your grass long to save the environment and obviously save on taxes, and yet they also wanted to keep it below a certain length. I mean, so they're still worried about aesthetics. So which one more important, Mother Gaia or aesthetics, right?
Yeah.
So
So apparently,
But
though, parts of the bylaw violate his rights to the freedom of expression.
okay,
okay.
is he a member of the Church of Grassology or something? Or
Yeah, I don't know how.
Freedom of expression, not freedom of religion.
okay, well,
I mean,
I'm sure we can
Yeah,
come up with something on that one, but
yeah. I like to have the long lawn in the back. I like to have the mullet look for my
yeah,
landscape. Business in the
yeah,
front, party in the back. Like, but you can't. Like, I don't know.
maybe just like
yeah.
Cheech and Chong movies. Who knows? It's,
So yeah, apparently, this guy received multiple complaints, probably from his neighbors who can't bother to mind their own business.
Yep.
Um, and then, basically the municipal law enforcement goes and investigates. So they've issued him a notice of contravention.
Hmm.
So in order to enforce the bylaw, apparently the city arranged to cut his grass that exceeded the allowable height, removed nuisance weeds from his property, and added the costs of this work to his property tax bill. I mean, that's pretty standard of how this happens. I'm not saying I agree with it,
Yes.
but I'm still, again, not sure how this, is a freedom of expression thing per se. I mean, it's grass, but I guess that's how he won.
well, yeah, good for him.
Yeah.
But I guess he was the judge, I guess, that presided over this said no evidence was led to show how a maximum grass height of 20 centimeters or the removal of enumerated nuisance weeds and seeds would impact public health or safety and ecological diversity in urban settings where the bylaw applied.
Yeah, if anything, it would improve it because it would allow the grass to
Well,
flourish and spread its seed far and
Yep.
wide.
Yep. Help some pollination, this, that, and all that. The bugs that we need, we all hate, but we need all the things.
yeah. But I mean, for once, the courts use some common sense. So what they're saying is that if you're going to limit how people can use their lawns, you need to do it with evidence.
Yep.
Hmm. Evidence-based laws. Imagine that.
Weird,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's a little ridiculous that it's all over grass and freedom of expression, but I'm happy that this guy won.
Yep. I feel bad that he feels that it's a sad outcome for all the relationship with neighbors that has
Yeah,
deteriorated due to him wanting to grow. Like, I don't care what my neighbor does unless his dog is constantly taking a dump in my backyard and I got to pick it up.
yeah. But then
Yeah,
that's
like
when like his
yeah,
actions affect you. Like if he
yeah,
just wants to
but
grow his grass long.
yeah, cool. Yeah, like it wouldn't bother me. You can asphalt it, you can turn it to this, you can rip it all out and grow a garden.
Yeah,
Like I just don't care because it doesn't affect me. Maybe not build a giant mansion where now I get absolutely no sunlight in my backyard. But that's about all I have an issue with. Like other than that, don't care, don't interact. But yeah, the fact that
well,
people could just think they can call and say like, "Hey, this I don't like this on his property," come do
yeah.
something about it. Sucks that we've gotten to that.
Well, well, in a not so fun one though, Rothesay puts an end to traditional shacks in ice fishing village. For years now, the town has disposed of dilapidated shacks and junk when the season ends in mid-March.
Yeah, so Rossi's in New Brunswick, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
I mean, people need to clean up their shit.
yeah,
Like you can't just leave your shanty town on the ice and all of that.
yep.
Like pick up your shit. but also you can't like. I mean, I get that sometimes like people ruin it for the rest of us, but like, come on.
Yeah.
Just I can't imagine that this town is that large that they can't figure out who left their shitty wooden shack out on the ice
Yeah.
and find them.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I
Yeah, in
would
terms of
prefer
the
that
removal,
being
the
the thing.
dumpage fees, whatever. But I mean, again, what constitutes a traditional shack, right? I see all these ones that they're all tents and they're all like obviously wood
yeah,
fabric or silver fabric there, whatever. But I mean, yeah, you think if somebody's gonna take the effort to drag an old shack out to the ice, they're gonna take the effort to pull it back on. So did they just get caught by warm weather or something, and the ice, it has
yeah.
too many cracks to get
Or
it off,
or
or what?
or did they take the old shack out there and be like, "This is the last winter we're using it," and then let
Yeah.
it sink?
I am sure there was definitely like people are
Yeah.
jerks.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't doubt that there was some of that, but yes, there's probably also a little of like just good intentions
Poor,
that
poor planning
fell
and
apart,
poor
right?
play.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, oh,
Yeah.
I was planning to go out this weekend and get one last weekend in and bring it in, but then I got busy and then it got too hot and it melted and now it's unsafe. But the town, and I use that word because that denotes size of the place as well, and not a city, a town.
Hmm.
They've installed a gate to prevent people from taking their trucks and cars onto the river and setting up shacks.
So barriers work.
I guess.
The
Um,
walls do work.
but if there's a gate, how are they going to issue keys to everyone to get to the other side of
Well, I have a gun club you could talk to about that. They're
it?
really
Yeah.
good at it.
Yeah.
They wait till every January and they'll hand out new keys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, there was a quoting somebody here. There was one fishing shack last year that somebody sort of abandoned at the beginning of the year, and it became the community garbage dump on the ice. It got completely full of garbage. Somebody left a hide a bed, so at the end of the season, we brought it down.
So it sounds like everybody's being an asshole, though.
Yes.
Yeah. Or at least most of them. Yeah.
Although, I mean, that's ambitious for people to bring out like a whole bed and everything into an ice shack. I bet they're doing more than ice fishing out there if there's a bed out there.
I mean, it did start with an F from the sounds of
Yeah.
it on the ice, but
Yeah. Thanks for the F Shack, Dirty Mike and the boys.
But again,
Yeah.
like if these
yeah.
guys are if they're turning it into the communal garbage dump, then everybody's obviously okay with just leaving the litter behind. So it sounds like that's a cultural problem, not a
Yeah.
city problem or an individual problem. That sounds like that everybody there,
Yeah.
maybe they've been
Yeah.
fishing there for 6 generations or whatever, and that's the way they've always done it. But maybe it's time to like grow up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or maybe because they're just like, oh, well, so many people are doing it. Well, if they're doing it, I guess it's okay that we do it instead of, you know,
yeah.
catching someone and saying like, hey, you probably shouldn't do that because this is going to have an effect down the road that's going to affect all of us and all that. So instead of, calling people out and trying to be good people, we just people just tend to follow it. Then they
Yeah.
end up all upset they can't do what they
Well,
were
yeah. I mean,
doing
like,
normally.
there's nothing here that's going to stop people that want to leave shit out on the ice from leaving shit out on the ice. They just can't
No.
be easy. Like, it's more difficult now, but like, I'm sure that like the same person that brought that shack out there, if they have one of those pop-up tents and it starts falling apart,
They'll
guess
just do
what's
the
going to
same.
happen? It's going to stay out there as well. But there's an interesting quote here. Instead of punishing the many for the acts of few, just have the proper authorities deal with the violators. What a novel concept.
Yep.
Punish the people responsible for doing the bad thing.
You should talk to the safety minister.
Whoever would have thought of that idea?
Yeah, well, that's the
Al-
Canadian way, right?
Yeah. Although
Individual
apparently,
guilt.
yeah, there's a guy just down the corner from here that has a tent rental place, and apparently he's been inundated with requests for tent rentals. So maybe he's partly to be responsible for this.
The
All
guy
those
was like, "Oh, I
money.
think they're finally gonna do something." And on the last Black Friday sale, he
Yeah.
ordered 1,000 tents, and I was making bank. But like, like you were saying, like let's just say that like someone takes the tent out and decides that they don't want the tent, and then they do the same as just throwing all the garbage and the Dirty Mike and the Boys thing in there,
Yeah.
it's going to be a lot harder to get it off the ice now because it's a tent, and it probably most of them don't have a subfloor, right? Most of them are
Yeah.
open. Some of them do have a spot where you can kind of like stay off the ice, but like it's easier. It's going to be easier to drag a shack full of garbage than a tent full of garbage. So
Well,
hopefully they just start cleaning up and maybe they can readjust this in a few years. But
yeah. Just
also,
police
yeah,
yourselves, right?
deal with the violators.
Like if you see people leaving and like, I mean, we're going ice fishing this week. We drag our tent out, set it up for a couple of days, and it stays there. So like we leave the shack and then come
Yes.
back to it and then pack everything up and then bring it all home when we leave, including all of our empties and everything else. Like everything gets cleaned up. The only thing that might get left out on the ice is maybe a dump or two if someone's got to go. But there's not much we can do about that.
Yeah. When you got to go, you got to go for that. But
Yeah.
yeah.
But that's just
Yeah.
returning it to nature. It's fine.
Yeah.
Fish do it all the time in the lake. It's okay.
Yeah.
Just
as long
embracing
as
their
you
culture.
like,
As long as you don't do it on the beach, right?
Yeah.
On the beach is wrong.
Yeah. And definitely don't do it like while Sanguinet's getting a squeezer on the May 2-4 weekend. That would be inappropriate. But
yeah.
Speaking of turds.
Which one?
Conservatives accuse liberals of kowtowing to Beijing as two MPs cut Taiwan trip short. The liberal MPs say they want to avoid confusion as Carney meets with Chinese president.
Well, I don't think there's much confusion at all. I think they're just well and truly bought and paid for by the CCP, and
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not confused about it. Or at least...
No, but I guess they don't want to anger China by looking like we're trying to also have a deal with Taiwan, who occasionally has a bit of a dispute with China over who owns them and things like that.
That's been going on for 60 years. Should end any day now.
Yeah, it's fine.
All good.
Yes, they're leaving because they were informed by advice from the government that their trip overlaps with the prime minister's trip to China, which one would think that like I get that like as prime minister you may need to be flexible in your schedule and like trips to certain places may pop up from time to time that are not planned out days, weeks, months in advance. But I would think that going to China as some sort of diplomatic thing would probably have taken at least a couple of weeks to plan and security protocols and all of those things that need to be looked after, right? Especially when you are the prime minister. So you think that like they would have just canceled the Taiwan trip altogether rather than send them there and now make a spectacle of calling them back early?
Yeah.
Like they could easily have just said, "Oh, sorry, do you mind if we push this back like 3 or 4 weeks because like something has come up and like travel plans had to change or whatever." Like an easier lie, a white lie, if you will, than just like
that nobody would know because they're not going to tell them why.
Yeah.
They're just going to say like, "Hey, we need to change it to this date." Or why not get them to stay an extra few days and then like pick them up on the way back and save us some tax money?
And I mean, I don't even know what China's issue is, because if both parts are considered part of China by China, then they're just visiting China twice.
Exactly.
Shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah. Conservative foreign affairs critic Michael Chong accused the liberals of acquiescing to Chinese pressure. Yeah, I'd say that pretty much hits the target on that one.
Well, that ship has sailed like a long time
ago. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Captain Obvious stating the obvious, but sometimes you need to do that because apparently, even though it's obvious to some of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, apparently this kind of retreat weakens our democracy our relationship with Taiwan.
I mean, I don't know if we have any strong, manly anything dealing with any country.
We did get into
But
a
okay.
dispute with Denmark, and we showed them.
Yeah. Yes, the trip was sponsored by the government of Taiwan as well, so there won't be any confusion there. That won't piss anybody off.
No.
Um,
Hey, thanks, but I need to leave 2 days earlier, so pay the cancellation fee and do this and do that.
yeah.
Whatever, but yeah, no, it's just I don't know, it's just weird. Like unless there's like an active threat, where something could
Well,
happen.
I'm sure the
Yeah,
Chinese will issue an actual
yeah, but yeah, I know we should have the set of balls to
Yeah.
stand up, follow through on stuff, and like work on things. Like I would rather just keep China at bay and abide and please and blah blah blah. Keep the supplies we need coming here until we figure out whatever. But let's work harder on every other part to make us not look like douchey people on the news.
Well, so in trying to not look like douchey people, and speaking of China, we're gonna fail at some of that stuff, Pierre. I'm sorry. Floor crosser Michael Ma will escort Carney in China to woo Xi Jinping. Weird.
Yeah.
The Chinese former conservative MP
That
that
crossed
magically crossed out of nowhere.
After meeting the Beijing ambassador.
Yes, after meeting the Beijing ambassador, coincidentally, I'm sure, is now going to China with Carney. I'm guessing there's some sort of a suitcase full of money that needs to be picked up.
Yes, I think that the personal baggage would be of high interest to me if I was a customs agent when he comes back.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's why the guy had to turn himself in, because they had to get all that gold in a different suitcase.
Yeah. So apparently, this is going to be the first visit of a Canadian prime minister since Justin unsuccessfully went there in 2017.
How did you not make it?
I mean, I would think that maybe it wasn't successful in terms of what other people think of it, but like
if
that was about the time that we got bought out by China. So I mean, I'm sure the trip happened as it was intended.
If you landed in China, it was a successful trip. It wasn't financially or diplomatically good, but like the trip happened. It just you didn't get what you wanted.
Yeah. Apparently, this visit signals a major shift by the Liberal government to cozy up to China after years of strained ties over human rights abuses.
Well, here or there?
Yeah.
Just clarify.
Yeah. China didn't want to meet with us because even we seemed a little bit too heavy-handed.
Yeah.
I think when Trudeau showed up, wasn't it like she didn't even show up to the airport, right? Like nobody greeted him except for some minor functionary, which was the start of the trip, and it only went downhill from there.
Yeah, but like he showed up and he had his shirt on, so who'd want to do a photo op with that? Like,
yeah, that's true. Yeah. Well, this time, if Justin showed up with Katy Perry, maybe he might have more success. I don't know, but
Katy.
Oh, Katy.
Yeah,
Kitty.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be very interesting.
All I'm thinking of is that
goes with Mark, but
fucking movie, like the Interview.
Yeah.
That was such a horrible and great movie at the exact same time. Like there were some things that were just so stupid. Some of them were just
like singing Katy Perry songs.
Yeah,
but like, what strained relations? Like, when have we ever done anything to China to like slap their hand at any of their violations, other than like maybe publicly we like tried to do that, but like in the background we were busy.
We've said we're very disappointed. And the condescending finger wag on TV doesn't mean we took action.
yeah, I'm sure that JT called up like either before or after and like
Yeah.
immediately apologized and promised to like sell us further up the river and allow one more secret Chinese listening post or whatever to be put in Vancouver or wherever. Like
Yeah.
Not to
we,
mention
You-
laundering all their
We'll
money
get
and
we'll give you
driving all their
three
yeah,
more
vehicles.
police stations across Canada, but we really have to make this statement.
yeah, and like
Yeah.
come on, like getting this guy like across the floor after all, like they're not even trying to hide it anymore. Like it's just so blatant. Like this is right up there with like sending a shit ton of money to Ukraine and then sending Freeland to Ukraine to spend the money.
Yeah.
Like, can,
Seems legit.
can you not just like at least try to hide it?
Yeah.
Like that would make me feel better if it was like they're trying to hide it because by being so blatant about it, it's like how can these people not see this? How can they be so stupid and oblivious to this that like
Be-
he shit talks
because
Carney, he meets the Beijing ambassador, he crosses the floor, and then he's now going to China. And this all happened in the span of a month and a half?
If that, yeah.
yeah, but
Like, come on.
the thought span of everybody is not that far. And then, as you just mentioned, sent a bunch of money to Ukraine. Now we're sending Freeland there.
Yeah.
With how the thought process of too many people that still have the capability of voting, they're seeing that as us being responsible and then sending someone that is really good to manage the money and make sure that there's no abuse with the money we're sending there.
Yeah.
Even though that's probably not going to be the case, I think the simple minded people that follow the news and see everything see this as progression in a good way. I mean,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
I'm just happy she's no longer taking care of anything specifically in Canada. Like she's still controlling Canadian funds that end up there, but like I don't have to see her on the news as much, and she has a little bit less to do with things that are going to physically affect here, even though she'll just ask for more money and we're going to send more money, which is still tax dollars. It's still going to be beneficial for me to, for her to be somewhere completely different than in
Yeah.
any position in cabinet.
Yeah. Then some interesting stuff here. In 2019, Michael Ma was listed as a director of the Chinese Canadian Conservative Association.
But that's when COVID came out.
Yeah, but so the Chinese Canadian Conservative Association, and they are also the ones that told ethnic Chinese people in Canada to vote carefully, and we're trying to get PP to step down,
Yes.
but they're
And
a
for that,
conservative association that doesn't seem to like conservatives.
Do we have
but
conservative
because of that,
politicians in Canada?
what's
Well,
her?
I no,
But
at least not in terms of the
because,
political party.
but also because of that, we've had four more Mandarins in Ontario.
Yeah,
So is it
yeah.
a bad thing?
Well, taking it back out to the East Coast here.
Mm-hmm.
Federal and provincial governments announced today that they're spending close to $4 million to help PEI's Atlantic beef products produce halal meats.
Oh boy.
So I have a feeling it doesn't cost 4 million to get that going. Halal, to my understanding, which might be a little bigot and very white, it's the process of how the animal is butchered.
Well, killed basically, yes. Not
Yeah,
even butchered up, like just
Killed and then butchered, like
yeah.
so
yeah,
right before the butchering. Yeah, so the process of like, so I work with a person that's Muslim and he has to have
hmm,
halal, and I was like, oh, like I've got some deer sausages, and he's like, oh well, technically, he's like, I can't, and I was like, oh shit, and then we got into the subject, and I was like, well, could you ever have hunted meat? He's like, I could, but he's like, I'd pretty much have to shoot it in the leg so that it can't run away. He's like, then I would have
Yeah.
to run up and like clip an artery in the neck and allow all the blood to drain before it technically died. So I'm like, doesn't sound like a $4 million process. Um,
No, interesting here. I'm just pulling up some stats. Apparently, at least as of 2021, there was the population of Muslims was 1.1% of the population in PEI, up from 0.5% in 2011. So I
okay,
imagine it has gone up again. So even if it's 2%, right?
yeah,
Even if it's doubled in the last 5 years,
yeah,
that still sounds like a terrible place to locate a plant that creates halal meat.
yes,
One would
especially
think.
because like we're
I
not talking
get
a big
like
population.
global markets and all of that, and they can literally sell to anywhere, but
Yeah, but like I'm not gonna go to the store and look for PEI beef. Like I'm not.
No, and one would
yeah,
think that if there's a business case for them to do it in the sense of, in the spirit of capitalism, that the money they'd spent to convert the factory to do halal meats would more than be paid for or pay for itself by increased sales towards the Muslim population. So there shouldn't
Yes,
be any subsidy required. It should just be a solid business case to do so. So why are
yes,
they forcing the issue if it's going to be a money loser? Oh, I mean,
yeah.
so wait a minute, that's the government. That's what they do. They lose money. But
yeah.
Well,
No, I
yeah.
go ahead, Gavin.
No, I just like yeah, I agree. Like if there's enough of a population there to drive the business, then it will self-fund itself. If there's not, why is the government stepping in to do this? And I'm not just saying this because I don't eat
It's
halal meat or I'm not required to eat halal meat. But I
it
would say
doesn't
the
taste
same thing.
different
Yeah, I would say the same thing about any
for
business,
uh,
really. Like
yeah.
if there's no
Um,
market for it, it
or
shouldn't exist.
or let's just say the startup cost, right? Like the demand is there,
Hmm.
but the startup cost is there. Like I'm not opposed to tax dollars going there to benefit someone that
Well,
lives in Canada and is contributing to Canada. That like this would be a $4 million loan or like something
well,
that
and that's
we
so
get a
yeah,
return on investment.
if they're getting the money because there's a small business
Yeah, so someone
program
wants to do it.
that
Yeah.
anybody could apply for and they just happen to meet the criteria, but this is not how it's being presented to us.
Yes.
It at least on the surface, and I haven't dug too deep in this because the show is for entertainment value only.
Yeah.
But it sounds like they got the money because they're making halal meat in a part of the world that is not exactly friendly to that, and they're struggling financially,
Yeah. Yeah, there's
which
just
is
not enough of demand.
yeah.
And I mean, maybe it could be there if the demand was there and everything, like, but so like in my opinion, there's no difference between a halal steak and a non-halal steak. Um, I season them the same, they cook the same, they pretty much taste the same. Um, which is also why there are so many products almost everywhere that just everything is halal because it just you meet all the
Yeah.
criteria where you just get that
Well,
extra thing. But I just don't understand why there's such a demand for PEI beef. Like it's a very small
not just
island.
PEI beef,
P,
halal
P
PEI beef.
yeah. So like I'm all up for local like supporting
Yeah.
local. Like yeah, but like at the end of the day, I need to pay attention to my
Well, yeah, and
pocketbook.
like if I go
And
to a restaurant that serves cuisine from that part of the world, I'm going to kind of expect that it is halal. Just like if I go
yes.
to like a Jewish delicatessen, I'm going to expect that the food in there is kosher.
Yeah, you're probably
But
not going to get bacon either, right?
I don't necessarily want to go into the grocery store and only be offered one of those two things because, again, not that I won't eat it per se, but I would like to have the option to eat it or not to eat it. Like, and I
Yeah,
don't like the idea of having to pay extra money because it needs to be certified and things like that, because then it's just adding more expense to like a
yeah. It
process or a thing that's done to it that I really
You
don't care about.
yeah.
Like
So
they want to make their own beef and do it in the way that they want. Great, go ahead. I will not tell them to not do that, but it should fund itself. Like if it can't, then
Don't.
yeah, why do
I,
my tax dollars have to pay for that?
yeah, right. Like go to Walmart. Walmart's a big company. They'll order in, a pallet of halal ground beef or steak or from wherever where an approved halal place with the stamp, and you feel comfortable serving it to your family if you feel that halal is important to you, or a few of you guys get together and go see a butcher, or
Yeah,
hopefully there's a butcher that's willing to be like, hey, I'll assist with this. A few families get together and they buy a few cows, and
yeah.
I don't know what the process is for it,
Yeah,
right? Like I don't know if it
crowdsource
like
it amongst your community.
yeah,
Yeah,
right? Like okay, hey, we will help, you as a butcher, okay, you get certified for this, or we get someone that comes in and does a certain process, and then you can process, uh, 8 cows 2 times a year for us.
yeah,
Hey, you need a whole separate set of knives, like we'll help, to offset that cost. Or like there are many things that can come way prior to $4 million of
yeah.
our
I mean,
tax dollars for
I know
something.
there was like I don't know, maybe a year or so, a year and change ago, like kosher butchers were having the same kind of a problem in that like it started to not become financially viable to do kosher beef because of the process. Like they
Yep.
do an inspection, beforehand and after the fact, and if like after they have slaughtered the animal, it's not it doesn't pass the test, then they can't eat it. So then the cost of kosher meat goes up because they've got to
Yeah.
like buy X number of cows, and then they know that like a certain percentage of them are not going to make it. Now, in that instance, like they can easily divert it to not
Regular.
kosher
Yeah.
meat and it just
Yeah.
becomes regular beef and all of that. But like there was a lot of like cattle raisers and abattoirs and stuff like that that were not wanting to do that. Whereas to me, that sounded like, hey, this is a great business opportunity for the community that requires this thing to step up
Yeah.
and own their own business and control their own supply of beef,
Yeah.
just as it is here. Like if there's that many people in PEI, or that there's a market that they can service in the greater country or wherever and ship from PEI, then build the business. Like,
Yeah, go
but
Yep.
for it.
don't just pander to it because it happens to fit this group. Like, and that's what
Yeah.
it sounds like they're doing in this, which is crazy, and I
Yeah.
don't agree with it. My tax dollars
And
shouldn't go towards that.
yeah, and if we are wrong on that, then write your article better.
Yeah,
Yeah, like like if we're wrong, let us know. Send some more articles because for me, this is just a paragraph. Um, complete garbage, no information other than just thanks for letting me know $4 million is being wasted.
yeah.
So
Well, that's everything I got.
Yeah, on that happy
I'm
note,
gonna go eat steak after this.
that's just a rounding error compared to what we give to Ukraine on the weekly. So I
Oh,
mean, hey,
Well, yeah,
yeah, I get it's just a rounding error, but if
yeah,
we can
yeah,
get some rounding errors under control, it can
yeah,
just be a little bit better.
yeah.
Just
For once, I'd
I'm not
like them
asking for a lot.
to be in our favor, not
yeah.
Yeah.
bending us over with no lube. But
Best they can.
yeah. So when you're not here, Pierre, where can people find you and or your other half and buy t-shirts or other things from you that support the causes they believe in you?
Yes. So off the wall customizing at Gmail. I think we're back. She's back on Facebook, uh, Instagram, TikTok. She made an off brand for like these weird sparkly girl cups that she's having a blast doing, and like they look cool. You'll never see me drinking out of them. So if you've got a significant other that likes sparkly stuff, she can do all that. I don't remember the other company name, but I'll try and be better next time. Or you might find me with other panelists from tonight on the other CPP Canadian Prepper podcast if we ever prep enough to actually make another show.
Ian?
That is the question. Yeah, if we ever going to make another show, it's been like 8 weeks, I think, since we
Yeah,
last did one.
yeah,
Like,
it's
oh,
been
we're
a
in the
little
can,
bit.
ready to go, but I don't know. We just have to get the band back together somehow. Anyway, so yeah, for myself, theislandretreat@gmail.com. You can check out my Facebook page too. I seem to have about 75 active listings for things to get rid of, so improve my fighting position for me. And yeah, Canadian Prepper Podcasts Sunday evenings, 9 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, and that's pretty much it.
Awesome. You can find me on Instagram, UrbexGTA. Apologies to Rod. He couldn't make it. Party too hard during the holidays and still recovering. It happens. We've all been there. I'd like to remind everybody, though, that you are a small fringe minority with unacceptable